So that's the same thing with the 27 Club. That's like, my man, get the fuck away from me. Yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is a bad look. Don't make me do this. Don't make me.
All right, kids. I went to the Forbes 30 Under 30 Summit in Cleveland a few weeks ago in order to learn tips on how to go viral. And if you're asking, are you an entrepreneur? Do you even own a business? Or if you're saying, my dude, I don't think you're in your 30s. Ain't no way you're under 30. Negative yet observant bastard. Unless you can spend $3,000 on short notice just to be a general attendee, you shouldn't be talking to me. Well, leave a comment because I didn't pay that to get in. My ticket was free. Voiceover artist and actor Stephen Johnson, who emceed the event, gave away free registrations. Pretty sure there were discounts for Ohio residents too. I didn't know about any of this until my best friend, best man at my wedding, comedian and Clevelander, Mike Paramore Jr. told me about it. We'll get to his perspective a little later as we share our points of view. Now, Forbes said, join the world's top young leaders, founders, and creators for a life-changing 4 days of connecting, learning, teaching, and building. The 2023 Forbes Under 30 Summit is more an immersive experience than a static conference. A private concert, A-list speakers, exclusive networking opportunities, industry-focused excursions, local culinary experiences, a legendary bar crawl, a powerful day of community service, and more. And I mean, Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner made appearances, Lotto and Halsey performed. However, Mikey and I were both available on day 3, a Tuesday, when Matt Rife, Alex Earl, and Drewski just so happened to be panelists talking about their content, platforms, and following. And evidently, when Machine Gun Kelly was approached by a fan?
My man, get the fuck away from me.
With that in mind, the in-person agenda started off at 9 a.m. with the Under 30 Pop-Up Run Club. Mikey and I didn't participate. I didn't think it would be hard to beat a junior investment banker in a 5K, and he was wearing snakeskin Jordan 1s. Plus, we didn't plan on getting there till like 11, which means we also missed Cleveland tours and experiences. Again, Mikey's from Cleveland, not necessary for him, and I don't need Forbes to show me that a major city in Ohio ain't better than Columbus. Then there was a World Mental Health Day meetup and Under 30 local meetup, along with insider tips on how to make the Forbes 30 Under 30 list at noon. And if you watched me before, you may be wondering when I'm going to complain about systemic or systematic issues. Well, Forbes has been accused of and known for overlooking Black and brown people in its list. And Forbes 30 Under 30 recipients have frequently been proven to be frauds and scammers. Finally came Stand Up to Stand Out, a comedian's tips on how to go viral featuring Matt Rife. After that was Under the Influence, cashing in on the creator craze with Alex Earl and Drewski. Here's the advice you've been waiting for.
What advice do you have for someone who wants to really get into the social media world?
I would say stick to it and don't give up because, like I said, it's not always going to happen overnight. And I think don't be afraid of what other people are thinking of you.
Okay, there we go. What else?
You just got to push down the boundaries, stay consistent, and not really listen to what everybody else has to say.
Oh.
What's the formula? What's the magic? And how can these guys learn from you?
Dude, I wish I had an answer for y'all. I really do. There's no strategy. There's no formula to success on social media.
Oh. All right, we got Mike Paramore Jr. here to make sense of all this. Now, Mikey, my best friend, best man at my wedding, comedian and Clevelander was there with me. He's the reason why I went in the first place. If it wasn't for him, I wasn't going to drive 2 hours away. Now, Mikey, you have an album called The Things We Tell Ourselves. You also have a comedy special on Amazon called You Just Got Flirted With, or You Have Just Been Flirted With, right?
Correct.
Okay. And with all of your comedic stylings, one thing that you do not have, at least yet, is a bigger, better social media presence. And so when we went to the Forbes 30 Under 30, what were you hoping to learn from that experience?
I figured it would be like a warm up before you just jab me in what my lackings are. It was immediate. I didn't think that's fine. It's been the bane of my comedy career, social media. I'm not super good at it, and it's part of the job. It's part of the job. And when I heard about the Forbes thing, I just kind of put two and two together, man. I figured, you just being in the same room as people who've made successes of themselves, and you know how they tell you to just upgrade your company. You know what I mean? Plus, it was in walking distance, so it didn't bother me nothing, and the tickets was free. So I would have felt bad about myself if I didn't go at least one of the days. But yeah, we were in these events surrounded by people who are, entrepreneurs and social media influencers, and who've all been successful in whatever minute area they're venturing out in.
Yeah, so when pretty much all three of the presenters, Matt Rife, Drewski, and Alex Earl, said pretty much stay consistent, don't care what anybody else says, I was kind of like, I knew that. So what was your response to that
For the record,
that affirmation?
I don't even know who one of those people are. I only knew who one of those people were going into that situation. Maybe because I'm like a head down focused comedian. I'm traveling all over the place, but I didn't even know. The only person I knew was Matt Rife, and that's because I almost, you can kind of say I started comedy with Matt in Columbus, Ohio. So, but they either I'm really, really bad at social media, or they're not that great because I didn't know who they were. So, but if you ask any person, or even off the streets, a bum, who's, set their corner up kind of nicely, they'll tell you got to be consistent on social media. You just got to be consistent. You got to have a theme. You got to have something for people to come back to. You got to be easy to find. Like the ways to make it in social media are not secrets. Like they're not secrets. You know what I mean? It's more so of, catching lightning in a bottle. The right hashtags on the right week can make you famous. For example, I had a friend of mine who did a video with a baby, and it was one of those videos where you just he was talking to the baby as though it was a regular conversation. You know what I mean? Baby was doing baby talk, and he was doing like real talk. So he was having a conversation with the baby, right? And he tagged Will Smith. This was a couple years ago. He tagged Will Smith for absolutely no reason. There's no reason for Will Smith to have been tagged in this video. He wasn't mentioned. Miami wasn't playing in the background. Like it was nothing. It was no reason for Will Smith to be tagged in this video. But he tagged Will Smith. And how it made it to Will Smith, who knows? I don't know if Jada was on vacation that day. I don't know how I made it to Will Smith, actually Will Smith, but Will Smith reposted it. Will Smith thought it was funny, and he reposted this video that millions of people have done before. There's a million videos like that, and he was very, very late, years late, not like a little bit late. He was years late, like 7-8 years after this thing was popular and died. He made this video, tag Will Smith. Will Smith saw it, reposted it, and now he has a career. Now he's a real person now. You know what I'm saying? Like he was an open micer, and now he's a real person. You know what I mean? So it's really just it's lightning in the bottle, man. It ain't. Yes, you got to follow all of the go viral rules, but those aren't secrets. And if you're one of the lucky ones who actually did go viral, it's kind of hard to relay how you did that and shed some light that isn't already a bright spotlight on it already.
So I watched additional footage of the interviews, and I think Forbes interviewed Matt Rife, Drewski, and Alex Earl separate times, and they did allude to luck, but they didn't say it outright. And for me, I'm like, I wish people would explain the luck part of it more often, because I don't think luck takes away from one's greatness. You could be great and benefit from luck. Long analogy coming your way, but everybody knows the story about Michael Jordan and the 1982 North Carolina Tar Heels winning the national championship after MJ hit that last that game-winning shot. What people might forget is when Georgetown took out the ball, the point guard dribbled it past half court and just randomly passed it to James Worthy. So while that team was coached by Dean Smith, had Michael Jordan, James Worthy, Sam Perkins, they got lucky by Georgetown just passing them the ball. It's nothing they couldn't control, but they're still great. And so I was just hoping that, like, somebody, anybody would just say, like, you know what? As you alluded to earlier, Mikey, yeah, I tagged somebody and it worked out, or I caught the algorithm on a good day, or I used the right hashtag on a good night. That's what helped me all along. And so I was hoping to get a little bit of that, but yeah, no.
Well, because everybody likes to know. Everybody likes to, be the one that knows. You know what I mean? And I don't have nothing against those guys. Like I respect anybody who can do stuff I can't do. You know what I mean? If I can't do it and you good at it, because I'm good at everything. So if you good if you good at something I can't do, I respect you and I don't care what it is. And if you catch that lightning in a bottle, I can't really blame you for that either, because I would love to catch that lightning in the bottle too. I went right after my friend started talking conversationally to babies. So did I. When he tagged Will Smith, I started tagging Will Smith and everything. I was tagging Will Smith and all kinds of stuff.
But it didn't work the same way.
Yeah. No, it didn't work.
It's like in the fitness community, I was going to use this analogy, but I decided to go against it. But then I'm like, okay, people who work out a lot and do a lot of ab work may not get the same results as someone who has, say, really good genes. Like, that is, you had no control over that. You got really good genes, but the ab work you do doesn't have the same results as someone else. And so it's another lucky aspect of things.
People luck, because you also have to have the temperament. That's one thing also people don't understand. You have to have the temperament, because I always say I would be a much better person if I was lucky enough to be born as one of those people who love to run. Though there are people out there who just love to run. They will go outside and they will run for fun. They will buy shoes to run for fun. And they're born like they just like to run. Like, I don't know who these, but there are people who just like to run, love to go to the gym, love to eat healthy. Like, or what's another thing I wish I was? Oh, I wish I loved to read. I wish I loved to read. There's people out there that love to read, like just read. Like, if they have spare time, they're going to be quiet and read something. And that boggles my mind. You know what I'm saying? So and that temperament correlates directly to the building process of building that social media thing. Because I mean, I'm sure we all know that guy who, because I know I can name two of them offhand. I won't say no name, but I can name two of them offhand. We all know that guy who posts every day, every single day, every other day, like clockwork, to maybe 6-7 likes. His record is 21 on that one birthday. Like, it's not like it's like the just the disparity between the amount of effort he puts into these posts and the response he's getting from these posts are just not there. Like, it's a large disparity. So you have to have the temperament to be like, I'm gonna do it anyway. So you have to almost enjoy it. You have to almost enjoy it. So I don't know how many of those guys that spoke, or how many of these social media influencers or like one-hitter quitters who was just like knocked it out of the park on a second video. You know what I'm saying? But I imagine they're probably toiling for a while, just putting dumb stuff on. You know, the pandemic blessed a lot of people. Yeah, it was a tragedy, and we lost some good people, and it was absolutely a travesty. But it benefited a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the benefit was good for social media for a number of people. I tried to grow this beard over the pandemic. Still not connecting right here, but that's the whole luck thing that I was telling about earlier. Okay, so let's backtrack. I get to your place. We walk over to the venue. Beautiful venue. It was so nice to be in there because I heard so much about it, and it was nice in there. We get our lanyards. We walk out, and then there was huddles of people talking. And that's when we realized, like, oh, snap, we might want to get in one of these huddles. I don't know what they're talking about, and I don't even know if I can say what they're saying, but we should try to get in one of those huddles. And neither of us did at that point. And then we got food and sat down and started
trying to join an already formed group of people mid-conversation is creepy. There's no smooth way to do that. You have to. Neither one of us are small in stature, you know what I mean? So you just got this tall, lanky dude and this big black dude trying to ease unseen into this circle that doesn't have a space for you. The circle doesn't have a space for you. So you're never joining the circle in its totality. You're oblonging the circle, or you're nudging somebody to the side, or you are sticking your face in, and then they creepily, for their own safety, they part so you can get in because they don't.
Oh, so you guys like pizza? I like pizza.
It's like, it's funny that you say that, not to me at all, but I have something to say. You just give them the church finger and be like, hey, before y'all move topics, I'm a comment on that one.
Yeah.
It's like there's no real good way to interrupt a group of people. So it's networking is a talent. People don't understand that. Social media is a talent. Like even if it's just having the gumption to keep going when it's not going well, or just networking, just not being creepy is a talent. Like being creepy is very easy. It is very easy. You can accidentally be creepy. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that scare me and they're not trying. So it's a talent to not be that. You know what I mean? To integrate that grouping without fear from everybody else involved.
And so one thing I noticed there were two circles. In the second circle, there was just a random person with a microphone and another guy holding a camera. But I'm like, are you interviewing someone? And then like, also, who are you? And I didn't know. But then after that, that's when you realize that there were differences and distinctions between what color lanyard someone has. Do you remember that?
I do remember the lanyard. It hurt a little bit. That realization took a second, and I wasn't okay with it. But I had already had mine on in a significant amount of time. So it's just nothing I could do about it at this point.
Based off your observations, we realized that we were the basics, like we were the lower level, non-VIP, like general admission type folk, and like that's never good to be around. Like I don't feel good about myself.
We were those guys. we were the ones. We were like, okay, so that's where you all right.
Yeah. So they let y'all in. How did y'all get in? Yeah. And so I believe the colors were just
trying really hard to look at our lanyards. Nobody was trying really hard to look.
I can tell by your color you're not even important. I'm gonna walk by you. You can't get in our circle and make it oval or oblong. Excuse me, sir. No. Chicken and giblets are over there. So we did meet that lady. I think she said she was a 30 under 30 lister out of Boston. Do you remember what she did though? Or did we ask her in our awkwardness what she did to get on?
It was entrepreneurial, but I don't know what the business was. I do remember her saying she had started something, but I don't remember what it was. And that's something that Forbes is doing. To my understanding, that was new. It was either new or it was new to spreading to different places.
Okay.
Where they had local lists of 30 under 30 locals versus the big magazine. So I don't know if Forbes is making subsidiaries in each city to do that independently from the big parent Forbes company. But I thought it was actually kind of cool. I mean, it was a way to make more recognition for themselves. You could, like I said, boy, if you could start a good list that people care about, you win there, bro. You win.
So
I can't wait
that gets us
to start to pair more list of people I'm cool with. That's cool.
I want to be at least number 2. Like I would imagine number 1 is already carved out. If I could be number 2, that's fine. So so there was general admission, which was us, and I think that was orange. I think Lister was like a tealish. Then they had staff, and I believe they had performers. Those are only 4 I remember.
I remember we were kind of a purplish color, and the Listers were kind of like a teal bluish color.
Yeah.
And then there was the top notch people was like yellow. They had like a yellow, and then workers were like orange. So it was a bunch of different stuff. Yeah.
I feel like the top notch people were yellow as like the caution traffic light. Like, don't come over here, commenter. Like, don't. Yeah. What did you get? Like 16 likes on your last thing? Don't come over here. Are you crazy?
I think they were required to drink with a pinky up. with that lanyard. I think
Okay.
part of the
So then we go back inside, and the inside of the venue, as far as the auditorium, was that's the only thing that I pictured accurately. It had the pastel colored like vodka things as you walked in, and you get around and there's auditorium seats. And then beyond that, there was VIP, and we didn't dare go over there. And then that's when people were making their pitches to A, make the 30 under 30 list, and B, see what credentials you need to get on. And that was the part where I was like, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to speak for you, but I'm like, I should not even be here because.
Well, no, I mean, it definitely wasn't catered to what we do. There was an opportunity, or maybe a chance that somebody may have been there to maybe work with. You know, like I said, we met that one lady who her business was throwing parties. Well, you know, what's the step adjacent to throwing parties is throwing events, and I'm a comedian. So, you know, maybe that connection, you know, makes something one day, maybe it doesn't. And then you had the one dude who was he was a finance dude. That's another guy, the iHeart guy, iHeart radio dude. That was another dude, but I was talking
my
about
background's in radio, like my training's in radio, so I was looking for that dude the whole night.
You was looking for him hard, yeah. It was kind of you, yeah. You was looking for him like y'all had just broke up, yeah.
Yeah, unrequited love, man. Like I love you, but you don't love me back. Like, of course.
But it's just one of those things. Like it's you can apply that kind of mentality to being in those rooms where just throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. You know, so that's the social media rule of going viral is, you know, post it. Don't think about it. Post it. Don't matter. Post
get it up. So somebody will like it.
Those events is just like go. You know, if it's free, you ain't got to do much. You ain't got to come out of much. Go and see what happens. You never know where your doors are going to be open, where your windows is going to be cracked. You never know what's in front of you or what the future has. So go do it all and see what comes to fruition. Yeah.
So from there we go downstairs, which I didn't know there was a downstairs, and then that's where they had that those, I guess I call them placards, where you could take pictures in front of the 30 under 30 emblem and logos, and off to the side they had those coffees and weird applesauces that were chunky, but like nobody warned me it was chunky, and like I'm embarrassed chewing applesauce in front of people.
Mix them up or something. I feel like we skipped a step. I don't know what it was. I feel like we
shake it or maybe like break it apart, like you just bought new ice or something like that. I don't know, but it was embarrassing to chew applesauce in front of people.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and so, but I will give you your kudos, man, because that's when you came out of your shell. It gave, for one, that's when a sea of people came out of nowhere. I didn't know that many people were there, and you came out of your shell in order to, you know, introduce yourself, talk to people, see where people came from, what their background was, what they did, what their business meant. And so I actually took your cue to start talking to other people. And so what was it for you that made you go from like, I don't deserve to be here because we got entrepreneurs upstairs asking how they can get on a list. I don't even think I want to be on a list. So going downstairs to like introducing yourself and seeing like, you know, what network you can be a part of.
I feel like at some point you just realize like, okay, well, I don't have anything to lose. You know what I mean? Like I don't have anything to lose. And honestly, knowing yourself and how you communicate is going to be top notch. Because honestly, I didn't really do much but stand next to the talkative white lady. That's really all I did. I knew that she would bring in people. I knew that when those people came in, she wasn't going to let them leave. And if I just stood there, I would be a part of it.
Okay. So I'm sorry, the talkative white lady, was it the white lady who invented that app and pulled my shirt in order to talk to me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So
that lady was a spirit animal. That lady was amazing. Yes. I was like, lead me to the wilderness, intrusive white lady. Because that was the first time I wore that quarter zip. Yeah. If I had half of her gumption, I would be famous already. Half.
Well, that was the first time I ever wore that quarter zip. And I remember I was standing looking up the steps because I was about to go talk to somebody, and she pulled on the jacket, And I was about to be like, man, get off this track. Can I just bought this? And she introduced herself, and she's like, hey, I'm just going around introducing myself, talking to people. And which by the way, we follow each other on LinkedIn now. But she started like a really dope app that like can actually help people. She's the CEO, my dude, of her own company. And it was like dope. Which by the way, she's like way active on LinkedIn and everything like that. And so that's what got the ball rolling as far as you talking to people.
I can only imagine what she's got going on. If you have tug on random black dude gumption, you're capable of anything. And you are amazing.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing about it. Like tug on random, like I'm 6'1", I got the crazy hair, and like I smile a lot and I have braces, but like she couldn't see that from behind. So I could have been some crazy black dude she didn't know. Dangerous gang member. But she didn't know that. So she just talked to me and started talking, and she was like really nice and everything. So then I had to take a phone call, and I come back, and you're talking to like a group of people, and not only a group of people, but like a lady who you just alluded to, who threw parties and everything like that. And so I didn't know if y'all connected further. Yeah, I don't know if y'all connected further or anything like that, but anything come of that?
I mean, we exchanged information. Nobody's reached out to anybody as of yet, because I'm not sure if she was local or not. But a lot of that, as the entertainer, the person who is providing the show, I like to have the behind the scenes person be more excited than I am, because they're the ones got to do most of the getting the butts in the seats and most of the work. I'm just entertainment. So I can't be the one that's the most excited about the link up. So I'm gonna just be patient, wait and see if she hits me up. And I feel like that's that seed planting thing. You know what I mean? That patience, that seed planting thing. So once you can get a couple seeds planted, you just kind of hope for the best, man. Especially in things like that where you didn't think anything was gonna come of it anyway. Right. It's just one of the noodles you threw up against the wall.
Yeah. So we go from there where I bought a daggone Gatorade for like $6.43. I'm never letting that go. We go back upstairs because there was more events, and that's when we sit behind. They weren't a couple, but they were from Arizona. I think the girl was from Arizona and the guy was from Texas, I believe, or maybe they both worked in Texas. And, it was a situation where, we talk to people and they're like, what do you do? And I'm a political commentator, which, by the way, when I told people that, I always got a good response. Like, whoa, really? And I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, well, what do y'all do? And they were like, I got $2 million in assets in 2022 alone. I'm in asset management. I'm the CEO of my own company. And I'm like, oh.
I'm a political commentator. I get $2,000 for commenting on most things. Yes,
exactly. Like, I make fun of Lauren Boebert when she says something stupid. You want to watch?
And it was the most arbitrary things. What made me mad was that like these people were successful in the weirdest things. This one dude was like, I got a $1 billion bubble tea factory, and I'm like, how did you invest in bubble tea to the point where you are trying to get on the Forbes list, bro?
This one kid, it was a landscaping lawn management company, and it was balling in Cleveland.
Yeah. It's stuff that people, the stuff that people tell you that they really not doing, but to say they doing something. Like when you hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, I'm in realty." No, you're not. You got your license and you got 2 houses that you showing people. And you only showing them to your family. So it's like my auntie. My auntie's in realty too. I know what that means.
All right, so then we take that, we talk to people, and then
several business holdings. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm not like my auntie.
And so we get to Matt Rife, which people were really excited about that, especially the ladies. And we go from that to Drewski and Alex Earl, and people were really excited about Drewski. So like I saw a video on TikTok saying that like Drewski had us out here dying, and I'm like, did he though? I saw the same thing. It was fine. Like, I'm not. This doesn't dictate. Like, he's a funny dude and he does his thing. He's way more successful than I'm going to be. But like, I don't know. I just think it was another aspect of this thing where it's like, you know, once people love you, you're like in there apparently.
Mm. Oh, absolutely. You know, you get to a point where your rock bottom is a lot of people's, you know, dream come true. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know, Drewski doesn't actually do stand-up comedy or whatever, but let's say he did. He can tour and do comedy clubs for the rest of his life and make money. He ain't got to do nothing else crazy. Like, as long as he don't do nothing, as long as he don't do nothing on tape and get caught, he good. You know what I'm saying? Same with Matt Rife. Matt Rife ain't did nothing of note. I love Matt, not saying that in a negative way, but I'm just, you know, I'm just using it as a comparison. He's done nothing of note, but right now in his life, he can tour across the country, put up videos of him doing crowd work, and that could be his career for the rest of his life. And he said, he good.
Yeah,
he
congrats
can
to them,
status quo, baseline status quo right now and be good. And that's the dream. That's the dream.
Yeah. So then after those events, we decide to leave the event before Machine Gun Kelly took the stage. And I want to show what happened after we left. And then we're going to comment on what the heck this was.
Such a lost thing here in America. We're so about like over-serving, over-consumption, quick, as long as it gets there, you know. So that's the same thing with the 27 Club. That's like, my man, get the fuck away from me. I got you, man. Yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is a bad look. Don't make me do this. Don't make me.
So this part of the video, I'm not doing this. The feed actually went to these little placards right here, and it cut away from the feed. So my first question is to you. I told you before, I didn't know Machine Gun Kelly had any links to Cleveland. So getting up automatically with your fists balled, is that a Cleveland thing?
Honestly, man, it's a trauma response. I don't know what's I don't know what you thought was going to happen while you were sitting on a leather chair in front of 300 people. Like, what did you think? Were you unsafe, bro? Were you fight or flight in that moment? You know what I'm saying? It's a very pretty Forbes white lady interviewing you. So what did you think was about to happen? Then he turns, and then we finally get a look at the dude who has on like a reverse Freddy Krueger sweater and glasses, and he's very, very tiny. The security guard who took him away clearly had his boy videotape it before he came out on stage, because that was unnecessary. It's like, hey, bro, I'm about to go get him. Hit quick record real quick. I'm about to go get him. Because he runs up on him and grabs him really hard and like drags him off as though he was approaching Machine Gun Kelly. He wasn't even. He was standing there. I think he was standing there, you know, pitching his business or something. I don't know what he was doing, but he was standing there shooting his shot. I don't know.
So what shot was he shooting? Like, was he about to freestyle for him, or?
All I can go off of is what Machine Gun Kelly was saying. So Machine Gun Kelly was talking as though dude was like, "Hey man, I got this idea."
Yeah.
And it'd go perfect with the pink that you put on the 27 Club. That's how he was responding. He was responding as though this dude was pitching his idea while holding a semi-automatic weapon, because he responded very, very unnecessarily.
So
if a dude approached me in an Argyle, you know, Cliff Huxtable sweater and glasses, I'm not jumping up. I don't think I'm gonna jump up, because I feel like even if I let you have the
oh no, connectivity. What happened?
that the jump up he did would be for the security guard that took the dude off stage. That's who that my if I had jumped up my feet, it would have been for that dude, not for the dude that he took off stage.
The security guard picked him up a little bit too easy. Like, that was way too ragdoll. And so that further lets me know that guy wasn't a threat. But Machine Gun Kelly didn't know that, I guess.
It almost feels staged. I feel like Machine Gun Kelly knew he wasn't going to have to do anything, So he reacted on 10 because he knew he wouldn't have to back it up. Or he
Bam.
saw the dude and he wouldn't be afraid to back it up. Like I don't know Machine Gun Kelly background or how the size of his security, but I wonder if he'd have jumped up like that if a dude the security size was running up on stage.
Well, Mikey, now I'm wondering, like, maybe we're not doing enough. Like, maybe we should have ran to the stage and attack Drusky to see, like, hey, let me freestyle for you, or let me talk to you about some embargo that this country had been a part of that they, I don't know.
I don't think it's any debate. We are definitely not doing enough.
Yeah, that was confirmation. Like, if I'm not willing to go up there with a polo shirt and slacks and confront the king of pop punk, I think that's what he calls himself, I don't know, then maybe I'm not doing enough. And so that was eye-opening for me. We're not doing enough, and we got to step our games up. The
part that depressed me the most was I had the same color lanyard as the dude that got pulled off stage. That's what made me mad. I'm like, bro, you're making us all look bad. You're making a pink game. I'm trying to represent the bottom of the barrel, and you shining the light on us right now. That was bottom of the barrel behavior. That's what that was. All right, like Mikey. Walmart activities, bro. We trying to get out of here. It's real silly.
I've had you on way too long. I appreciate it, but I enjoyed the whole thing. Can you please tell the people where they can find you?
A little bit of everywhere, man. I try to dip my toe in a little bit of everywhere, man. But all my social media is at Mike Paramore Jr. It's holiday season, so I'm going to be doing shows around Ohio a lot. So if you're around Ohio, hit me up. We got a Thanksgiving show we're going to do at Hilarities downtown. We're actually going to do a live Let's Be Honest in the main room on the Sunday after Thanksgiving. We're gonna do a live Let's Be Honest. We're gonna fix some relationships in Cleveland.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So yeah,
hopefully that
IG at Mike Paramore Jr. We get it together.
Hopefully that kid with the lanyard who rushed Machine Gun Kelly can come and get some stuff figured out. Anyway, thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate it. I recognize that you're on like a cruise ship right now. So thank you so much for your time.
I'm in Anchorage. No, where am I? I'm in Juneau, Alaska.
You're in Juneau?
I'm in Juneau, Alaska, where I saw for the very first time in my life a Rockweiler pigeon. I did not say that wrong. They have Rockweiler pigeons here. They have regular pigeons. They have regular pigeons. I've seen it. I know they have regular pigeons, but they also have these giant black. They say they're kind of look like crows, but they kind of look like house dogs. Like, it's very uncomfortable. It's very unsettling. They're giant. I'm gonna post a video about it because I don't. You know what I mean? I suck at posting, but I was like, I gotta post a Rockweiler pigeon. It's really huge. It's giant and scary, and a lot of them, and they're everywhere.
Okay, I will be sure to look out for that. Again, thank you for your time. You can catch Mikey's album, The Things We Tell Ourselves, and then his Amazon comedy special, You've Just Been Flirted With. So get flirted with by a married man who... But no, Mikey, seriously, I appreciate you reaching out, saying we need to go to this thing and not tell ourselves no, have them tell us no. That meant the world to me. I'm going to keep going on with that. And so, again, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Put all up against the wall, see what sticks, brother. We'll figure it out.
Yep. Thanks, man.
Shout out to the brightest entrepreneurs and game changers leading the way in their industries who gathered in Cleveland, especially if you made the Forbes 30 under 30, 40 under 40, and if there's a 50 under 50, I wouldn't mind being on that list. Being around so many driven people, I'm reminded that there's room for all of us to succeed, and being consistent, along with not caring about what others do, say, or think, will be a key to open doors in whatever you're trying to do. And I'm sure the panelists at this Forbes event would be the first ones to tell you that. We're gonna be all right.
But here's what I would like to say, and I do apologize for my primal reaction, but this is, yeah, okay.
You handled that amazingly, by the way. Yeah.
My advice for people who have an idea that want to present it to other creators or people that they believe can be a vessel for their idea is like pick a good time and a place. This was a bad time and a place.
We got a lot of advice right here just from that moment, and thank you for turning it into a positive too.